Welcome عنيزة private school students. Hello my students. With you MS Marwa Bakry. أهلا بطالباتي طالبات مدارس عنيزة الأهلية. Welcome again with a new English lesson. Now my students with practice time. Today we'll know how to make WH equations with what in future was going to. We know my students that we have two kinds of questions, WH equations and yes-no questions. Today, my students will know how to make WH equation in future with going to. Here, my students, this question consists of what plus verb to be is plus he, she, or it plus going to plus have. Here, my students, we use verb to be is because here we use subject he, she, it. Take care here, my students, we use here the auxiliary verb is or are or am according to the subject. If we use subjects like he, she, it, or any singular noun, this means that we use here auxiliary verb is. What is he? What is she? What is it? Okay, going to have. And also here, my students, we use verb have in infinitive after going to, because we must use verb in infinitive after going to. Look at this example. What is she going to have? What is she going to have? Here, my students, we use auxiliary verb is. After question word what, we use what. And after what, we use auxiliary verb is, because here we use subject she. Okay? What is she going to have? Also here, my students, we use verb have in infinitive after going to. What is she going to? Take care here, my students, to make question, we use auxiliary verb before the subject. Again, we use the subject, we use auxiliary verb before the subject if we're making question. But look here at this answer. She's going to have some spaghetti. Here, my students, we say she is. She is going to have. Here we use auxiliary verb is after the subject. Okay, we say here she is. But in the question we said, what is she? Okay, what is she going to? Here, my students, in the answer we say, she is going to have. This means, my students, we use auxiliary verb is after the subject if I make sentence or answer, but we use it before the subject if we are making question. Okay. And also here, my students, if we use plural subjects like we, you, they, or any plural noun, we use verb to be are. Okay. Here we use verb to be are. This question beginning with question word what plus auxiliary verb are plus we, you, they, or any plural noun plus going to have. Okay, again, my students, here we use verb to be are or auxiliary verb are here because here we use plural subjects like we, you, they, or any plural noun. Okay, plus going to plus have, and also here we use verb have in infinitive because we must use verb in infinitive after going to. Look here, my students, this example. What are you going to have? What are you going to have? Here, my students, we use are, auxiliary verb are, because here we use subject you. Okay, what are you going to have? Take care, my students, if we use you in the question, we must change it into I in the answer. Okay, what are you going to have? Look at the answer. I'm going to have beef burger. I'm going to have beef burger. Here, my students, we change you in the question, we change it into I in the answer. And also we change R to am. Okay? I'm going to have beef burger. Look here, my students. If I want to make question, okay, with going to in future, we use what plus am or is or are according to the subject. Okay? Plus going to plus verb in infinitive. And if I want to make answer, we're beginning with the subject. Okay? At the beginning of the sentence, we're beginning with the subject. After subject, we use verb to be plus going to plus verb in infinitive. If we begin our sentence with subject I, we use verb to be am. Okay? And if we beginning our sentence with he, she, it, this means that we must use verb to be is. Okay? He is going to, she is going to, it is going to. Okay. And also here, my students, if we're beginning our sentence with you, we, they, or any plural noun, we use here verb to be are. Okay, we must use verb to be are plus going to plus verb in infinitive. Look here at this example. So example number 1. What are you going to have? What are you going to have? What are you going to have? The answer, I'm going to have some kebab. Here, my students, also we use subject you and we change you into I in the answer, and we change are also to am. Okay, I'm going to have. Question number 2. What is he going to have? What is he going to have? Here also we use auxiliary verb is because here we use subject he. Okay, what is he going to have? He's going to have some spaghetti. Here, my students, we use subject he. After subject he, we use verb to be is plus going to plus verb in infinitive. Question number 3. What are they going to have? What are they going to have? Here, my students, we're beginning our answer with they. Look here at the subject, they. Okay, we're beginning our answer with they. They are, okay, plus verb to be are, plus going to, plus verb in infinitive. They are going to have some orange juice. Question number 4. What are you going to have? What are you going to have? Here, my students, we change subject you, okay, into we in the answer. Because subject you in the question, we can change it into I or we in the answer. We are going to have some French fries. Question number 5. What is he going to have? What is he going to have? He's going to have some green salad. Here also, my students, we use is before the subject to make question. But in the answer, we use verb to be, okay, after the subject. Again, we use verb to be before the subject if we are making question. But if we are making answer, we use verb to be after the subject. He's going to have some green salad. Question number 6. What are you going to have? What are you? Take care also here, my students. We use you here in the question, but we change it into I in the answer. What are you going to have? I'm going to have some lemon. Thank you for watching and goodbye.